Hi everyone, my name is John and welcome back to my channel. You would know it from all of the light around me, but as of the second I started this video, we have exactly 15 more minutes of Christmas night, at least where I am in the United States. And if you celebrated Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrated something else, Hanukkah, or will be celebrating something else for the New Year, or whatever else it is, Festivus for the rest of you. I hope it's happy and joyful and peaceful. Considering I only have 15 minutes, this video probably won't make it up on Christmas night, but hopefully it will be up in the first few minutes of December 26th, 2021. I think I mentioned in an October video, in a Friday Reads that I made, that I was reading a book by Sheridan Fanu, namely Uncle Silas. And someone made a comment that they really wanted to hear what I had to say about it when I was finished. I don't remember the viewer's name. I apologize. But I prioritized the review for you, if you happen to be watching. And I hope you are watching because I had some interesting thoughts about it. If you were thinking about reading it yourself. So here's the version that I ended up reading. It's the same one I showed. It's the Penguin Classics version, with the red stripe at the top and the yellow stuff at the back. I think we all recognize these. Again, Sheridan Fanu's Uncle Silas. During the 1860s and 1870s, there was this very specific kind of novel that became famous, and it was called one of two things: the sensationalistic novel or the novel of sensation. And it really grabbed the attention of the mid-Victorian reading mind, like few other kinds of books before it ever had. If you like the more popular novels of people like Wilkie Collins, especially The Woman in White and Armadale, or Lynn Wood, or Mrs. Wood's East Lynne, or Lady Audley's Secret, Sheridan Fanu's Uncle Silas will probably very much turn you on. It's very much in the same vein. Sensationalist novels usually exhibit a kind of heightened use of melodrama, romance, the gothic, and or the supernatural. And Fanu went out of his way to imitate the style of contemporary authors who had really cut that path, especially Wilkie Collins. To be even more specific, Uncle Silas belongs to a subgenre of sensationalist novels called the locked room mystery, its own very special sort of genre, where a mysterious event, usually a crime or a death or something, happens within a closed space, closed physical space, leaving no hints as to how the criminal could have left or entered the scene, leading, of course, to the inevitable conclusion that there was something supernatural at work. Uncle Silas is a big set piece for everything that we sort of think of as mid-century Gothic. It has the laudanum addiction. It has the eerie mansions with long, dark hallways that are full of lurking shadows and locked rooms, and a secret will, and even an evil governess, for good measure. There is a young girl who's about 15 or 16 by the name of Maud Ruthin, who lives with her ailing father at the opening of the novel, and they live on their estate called Knoll, Knowl. Maud is haunted by one of the portraits in her father's house, which portrays an uncle that she has named Silas, and is given is even further sort of intrigued by it when she hears things about Silas about his scandalous past and his kind of shady past, actually, especially considering, excuse me, these days he is a very, very straight and arrow, I guess we could call them, Christian, very sort of moralistic, conservative Christian person. And she was kind of perplexed by, by how someone like that could have a past like that he had. And one of the interesting things, especially that gets her wondering, is apparently he was at one time a really big gambler. And in the 19th century imagination, we don't really have this association anymore, but in the 19th century, gambling was associated with just being a total rake and rogue. If you gambled, you couldn't control yourself, you were irrational, you were basically just, had no sense of reserve or self-preservation or anything. You often find that characters in 19th century literature whose writers want to impute ill reputation to them turn them into gamblers. And it also has it, legend also has it, that Silas once, it might have been responsible for killing a person. So, seems like, he could have had an interesting past life, but has possibly straightened himself up. So as her ailing father looks for someone to take care of her in the future, he enlists the help of someone named Madame de la Rougière. And she's an older woman. She is weird and creepy, very creepy. And despite her being new to the estate at Knoll, she runs into people that she seems to know on a couple of the walks that she has with Maud together around the property. And on one occasion, Maud actually catches her trying to alter a codicil to her father's will, which is also weird because she's not responsible for his will and testament or anything. So that automatically kind of makes her a suspicious figure, needless to say. Once her father actually does pass away, Maud agrees to go live with Uncle Silas for a period of about 3.5 years until she reaches the age of maturity. His mansion is located at a place called Bartram Hall and is every bit of as outre and atmospheric as her father's house. This time peopled with a servant with a wooden leg and a useless, dissolute male cousin who Uncle Silas is quick to marry off. And it's from here that Maud quite literally starts to feel the walls, figuratively and metaphorically, closing in around her. If there's anything that doesn't really work out with the book, it's that the pacing is going to seem extraordinarily slow for those who, well, probably for most people, but especially for people who may not have a lot of familiarity with 19th century literature. I'd imagine that most contemporary readers would like this if it was more of a novella with a comparable length to, say, Henry James's A Turn of the Screw. But a lot of this is slow going and scene setting and background. So a lot of the, especially in the beginning, that's the case. And I think despite the novel being 450 pages long, I think it could have easily been half that, or maybe even less. But you know how Victorian language can sometimes be a bit purple and flowery and overblown. And Fanu is certainly guilty of writing that way into his character's dialogue. On the other hand, this gives, like I said, Fanu ample time to let the novel read at kind of a slow burn and have Maud realize exactly the extent to which she is, in fact, in physical danger. I'm not going to tell you the kinds of physical danger or the characters that are wrapped up in that. I think that would be giving away too much of the plot, but that time, that slow burn that happens, is really great for the writer to sort of show exactly how Maud is being perpetually, constantly gaslit by her family members, at least the bad ones, for whom on whom she could otherwise rely to look out for her best interests. Consequently, it certainly did its job, the book did, I think, as a seasonal read. Again, I read it for Victober, which was the first time I've ever read anything in a kind of seasonal way for around BookTube. So, again, not something I've ever done in the past, something I am interested in doing in the future, though. But if you just crave something that has all that scene setting, that creepiness, the weird people, the evil old, mistress servant, the creaky door cases, and all of that good stuff that you want from summer slowly turning into autumn, at least I want. I think this might be good for you. If you really value the story and the character development, it may not be as much for you. So scene setting, creepy, autumnal, dark, all of that, 5 stars. Story, character development, narrative arc, more like 3. Again, I don't really care for star designations, but I think that differential will give you some idea of what I thought of the book, and also help you decide whether you might be interested in picking it up. So, those are my thoughts on Sheridan Le Fanu's Uncle Silas, Penguin Classics. I will see everyone. I know I've been a little negligent in the past couple of weeks with videos, but I have already pre-posted some for release, at least 2 or 3 of them. So you won't have to suffer any more weeks without seeing this face. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know. I will see you next week. Bye.